Welcome everybody to Treats and Eats with Krista and Jodi, although Krista just left the screen there. Say hi, Krista. Yay! We are on a weird time schedule this month. We had to push it back a week, but hopefully you'll still get to watch us even if you're watching it later. And we'll try to get back on regular schedule next month. We just got to do it when we can do it. And we didn't want to skip a month. So here we are. We're super excited. 18, minus 18 degrees. Oh, we were just talking about weather before we started recording. So that's why I'm in my Arctic sweater because it's so cold here. I have my fireplace on. So this month, I don't know, maybe it's because I was feeling chilly, but I thought it would be fun to do soups because soups make me feel warm and they're easy, kind of, I don't know, I get like food fatigue this time of year where I'm tired of cooking and I just want to be outside and it's just winter and yucky. So we're going to do soups tonight. Thrive makes soups like so easy. And so we're excited to show you a couple of options today for soups, and we're featuring specials. And the specials this month are a little bit different. They kind of have done this the last few Februaries. So if you are in like the Western states like Utah, Idaho, you might be familiar with case lot sales. So you can go to like Smith's or something and buy like cases of canned goods at discounted prices. So Thrive kind of plays on that and does a case lot sale for certain items. A lot of times it's stuff they might just have a little overstock on, but you can get like 30% off if you buy it in a case. So a case is 6 family cans. So the big ones, ouch, like this. Did you notice I'm wearing no sling this month? Yay, I graduated. So 6 family cans is a case of the big sizes, and 10 pantry cans is a case of the small sizes. So it's like a bulk discount. So you get like the monthly special prices and then you get the extra discount for buying it in a case. So this month we're going to feature things that are on both the regular monthly specials, which you can get the discounted price if it's if you're just buying one, or also there's some different things on the case lot sales. So as we're cooking with it, we'll try to point out what is what if we can remember. So that being said, let's start cooking. If you have any questions, you can shout them out or Krista will answer while I'm cooking. My eyes are getting too old and I can't see far away from my from where I'm cooking. So I'm gonna make sure you can see me. I'm gonna get closer here. I'm super excited, okay, to make this first one. I gotta pull up my recipe because my family loves Olive Garden. This is like the Olive Garden's like yummiest zuppa toscana soup recipe. So this is one that could be made in a mail in a jar, but it's also just super easy to pull out your stuff and make it. So you can do it either way. Soups really lend really well to mail in a jar, which I'll talk about my other one later. But for this one, I'm gonna just do it as a regular soup. So I'm gonna show you, I have 5 cups of water in my pot, and then I like to do my powdery stuff first. Like if you're doing a meal in a jar, you can just dump it all in, it's fine. But if you're not doing it, you might as well make it so it mixes a little easier. So I'm putting powders. You're gonna have bouillon. I got out all my measuring spoons, then I lost them. I don't know what I did with, oh, there it is. Got Chef's Choice seasoning. If you don't have Chef's Choice, you can just do like a seasoned salt. Totally fine. I've got some garlic. You could do garlic powder, garlic salt, whatever. This is Thrive's freeze-dried garlic. I like the flavor it gives. Nice for a soup. Just gonna kind of whisk that bouillon in. And then you're gonna have the powders. So in this soup, it's a little bit interesting. It's a thick, creamy soup. So the base is a velouté gravy. So the Thrive has, I'm gonna make myself big. I don't know if I did. Thrive has 4 sauces. They have a beef gravy, a chicken gravy, a bechamel sauce, which is like a white sauce, and then a tomato sauce. So we're featuring a couple of those this week. So, or this month. 3 tablespoons of velouté. So this, you can use this one to make like any kind of chicken casseroles, chicken bases. And so the sauce is good because it's like your thickener for your mix and also flavor. So I did do bouillon too, just to give it a little more oomph, and because I feel like you always add chicken bouillon to your recipe for your soup recipe. So I like to stir in the sauces to get it really mixed in. And then the other powder is sour cream powder. And so the sour cream powder just makes it even more creamy and delicious for the soup. So those are my powders. So like I said, I'm wanting to just get the powders really mixed in with my whisk before I add the solid ingredients. Works a little bit better if you're heating it while you're doing it, but it's fine. I started with hot water. And then I'm going to just boil it while we do the next segments. So sour cream powder, I feel like sometimes is hard to get whisked in really good. It works better if you, I'm going to see if you can see it. It's a little lumpy right now, but I'm going to keep whisking. But you could do it in like a smaller amount of liquid and get it really mixed in and then stir it. Like kind of makes like a slurry or whatever. That works a little better sometimes. So usually by the time it all cooks up, it gets clumpy once you heat it and cook it and everything. Okay, so then another interesting item in this recipe is we used mashed potato flakes. So these are one of the case lot sale items. They're actually pretty good. I like our mashed potato flakes because there are no additives. It's just the flaky potatoes. So if you get like instant potatoes at the store, it usually has a lot of additives and like hydrogenated oil and yucky stuff added in, and you can't just do it yourself, and it sort of tastes fake. These taste real, and you can just add whatever you would normally add to regular like your regular potatoes. Just add powdered milk or add butter or whatever. But this recipe calls for mashed potato flakes, and again, they're kind of a thickener. So if you've had the soup at Olive Garden, it's a really thick, yummy yum soup. So this is going to thicken up the soup without like, it gives flavor, kind of like cornstarch would thicken it, but without just being plain, if that makes sense. So I like doing that. If you don't have potato flakes, you could maybe powder potatoes, but you can see it's already getting a little bit, you can't really see, a little bit thick just with adding what I did there. And then the next thing I'm going to add is some spinach. So spinach is a big part of this recipe. Now, spinach is also a case lot sale item. Yes, spinach, potatoes. There's 3 items. No, 4. 3. There's 3. No, 4. Okay, 3/4 cup spinach. My brain's not working tonight.
There's 6, actually.
No, 4 that I'm making in this recipe.
Oh, okay.
All right. So I'm everywhere. There are 6. But spinach is 1, right? And mashed potatoes. And the meats, so we're featuring 3 meats, the 3 meats that are on sale. This is the sausage crumbles. We've made this in our Mountain Man mix a lot. We use it all the time. It's so good in breakfast meals. Oops. You can eat it dry, but it's also really, really good in this soup recipe. And it's easy. I hate having to cook sausage, and for some reason, like the package it comes in is never what I'm trying to use for my recipe. So 3/4 cup of sausage ready to go. You don't have to have it oily on your stove or whatever. And then 3/4 cup of the diced potatoes. So I have the potato flakes, but you also have diced potatoes. And then last, it confused me because it was over here. Chopped onions. Those are also on the case lot, right? 4 items.
Yes.
I think I got it right.
Awesome.
So I'm going to do 3 tablespoons chopped onions. If you have dehydrated onions or onion slices, you could sub those out, but I like cooking with what's on sale. So there you go. So then you just stir it up. So even if I had to pull all those cans out of the cupboard, I literally just made dinner in like, what, 3 minutes? So, and that was with me explaining everything. I could have done it way faster. So I'm going to go put this on the stove. It smells like kind of like Olive Garden in here. I'm going to show you close up. And it really, all of it's preheated. I mean, pre-cooked. The sausage is already pre-cooked. So all this really has to do is your potatoes have to get soft and your sausage, but, and just heat it. And it's going to be so good. So I'm going to go put it on the stove, and Krista's going to cook her first meal. So 4 case lot items so far. You guys can count if you want how many sale items we feature. I'm gonna make you big, Krista.
Okay, awesome. Yay.
You're big. She's famous. Your house looks green. Are you getting ready for St. Patty's already?
Yes, I am all decked out for St. Patty's Day already. So Valentine's ended the day it ended, the green stuff came out and I changed my lights in my kitchen. It was awesome. So I love St. Patty's Day. Okay. So the first soup I'm going to do is I'm going to make a beefy minestrone soup. And I didn't count how many things are on sale, but let me see. 1, 2, 3. I think I have 3 things. Anyway, I've got a lot of Thrive in this recipe, so we're gonna go with that. But okay, so the beefy minestrone is literally one of the easiest recipes you can do. Okay, so we're gonna give you all the recipes at the end when we do our return email. So look for that this week or next week.
Not at the end of today. After a few days, once we get it all together.
Yes, once you put it all together, you're going to get the recipes. And just so you know, there's lots of vegetables in here, and not everybody likes all the vegetables, right? So it calls for like a 1/4 cup of corn, peas, celery, onions, bell peppers, green beans. It's a minestrone, so you got a lot of vegetables in there. But if there's something you don't like, substitute it with vegetables that you do like. So I'm going to tell you that it's about 2 cups of vegetables. Okay, that's what I've got in here, and I just measured out the ones that I use, and I literally use green beans. I had 8 of them. So green beans, black beans, instant black beans, carrots, celery, onions, bell pepper, corn, and peas. That's 8. That's 8. Haha. Cool. So there's 8 vegetables in here, and then there is my my diced beef that is on sale this month. Okay, so I just mix that all together in one bowl, and then in my other bowl I have my seasonings that are going to go in this soup, and that is going to be 4 tablespoons of tomato powder. I've got 2 tablespoons of my beef bouillon, and some Italian seasoning and garlic and all that good stuff. So that's, and then I have 3/4 cup of your favorite tiny little pasta, right? Because again, it's minestrone, right? So I'm going to move us over to the stove so that you can see how easy this is to do. Like seriously, you're gonna die. This is gonna be awesome. Okay. I'm trying to make my kitchen functional for everyone here. So let's see. Can you see my boiling water? Yes, you can. It's right there. Oh, it's right there. Awesome. Yay. Okay. So we are boiling. So I'm going to add in my seasonings first to kind of get this all going and to flavor it up. So my vegetables and everything have something to go into that's going to be flavorful, right? And it's going to soak in all of that flavor. But that's the first dump, right? And it's going to start smelling like an Italian kitchen in here. Second dump is going to be on my vegetables. Okay, you can see all my little vegetables. I literally have like all sorts. If I were not going by the recipe, I'd probably substitute the peppers for more corn or more green beans because they're fabulous in here. And we're just going to dump it in. But that's onions and peas and corn. And you can see how that like comes back to beautiful colors as soon as it gets introduced back into liquid. You can see the greens are greens, the orange is orange. Can you see that? I hope you can see that. And then we're going to actually just bring that to a boil again. Ooh. Hold on, taking a break as I'm burning the rolls. Hold on. And 2 with the one hand. Hold on. You're hearing swear words out of the kitchen. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. Let's try this again. Sorry, technical difficulties. Okay, so it's coming back to a boil anyway. That's perfect timing. Now we're going to pour the pasta in now that it's to a boil. This is like the easiest soup on the planet, like so easy. And then we're going to turn the heat down to a simmer. And we're going to let that simmer until the pasta's done. And that's literally it. Oh, hi. Hi. Okay, so that's my first recipe. It was so easy, right? Sorry for the ladder in the kitchen, but sure you saw the stove. I normally don't have a ladder in my kitchen, but I'm trying to cover it with me. But that's this is not a professional deal. You guys know this. We but we have fun doing it, right?
We are real, and that's what matters.
Yep, I just want you guys to see my stove, and that's the best way I can do it. So that's what we're doing.
Okay, you ready for
All right.
me?
Yep, back to you.
All right, we're quick and easy today because we wanted to really highlight how easy. Sometimes we get complex and do these hard things. Like last month, we had so many hard things with all the eggs and everything, but um, soups really are so easy. And your kids can like kind of make them and do however they want. Sorry, my kitchen's dirty. Don't look at the dirty part of my kitchen. So the next one I'm gonna make, so my zuppa toscano is cooking over there. So if you get my meal in a jar newsletters, I did a tomato soup this month. So it is a jar meal. So I'm gonna show you how easy it is to put it in a jar and what it looks like in there. And then we're gonna make the soup. But first, I want to show you something else fun because we didn't make any like fruit soups. You don't really make fruit soups, but there were two fruits on sale for Valentine's. So we had strawberries and raspberries. So I powdered these up and took them to a church activity, and we made frosting to do Valentine's cookies with. We've done that on episodes before. So you just add the powder to your frosting, and it makes, you can choose however dense you make the powder is like how much flavor it is and how vibrant the colors are. So it was super fun. And I had some dragon fruit that was a limited time product. So it made this really bright magenta fuchsia color. And then the raspberry was a darker reddish color, and the strawberry was more of like a pink. So the girls thought that was really fun. So if you did want to do cookies, you could get some raspberries and strawberries instead. So those are two more sale items. So for my tomato soup, this one uses another one of the Thrive sauces. So this is the tomato sauce I talked about. Thrive used to have tomato powder, which was an awesome product because you could use it for anything: tomato soup, tomato sauce, tomato paste. So I kind of use the tomato sauce in the same way, but it does have additives. It's more creamy. It has the flavorings right in it. But usually if you're making a tomatoey base food anyways, you don't mind having Italian seasonings in it. So it is easy. It's just not quite as versatile as our tomato powder. But it's still very good. So I'm using this as my base for my tomato soup. So I'm pouring, oh, no, I'm gonna do it in the jar first. TV. So when I do jar meals, I use a funnel like this. It makes it super easy because then it doesn't spill. Although a lot of times I still manage to make a big mess. And then I put in powdered milk. So if you make tomato soup out of like Campbell's, like the cans, and mix it with milk, it's always a little more creamy. So that's kind of what I did with the powdered milk to make the soup creamier. And it also, so you got the tomato sauce that kind of makes it creamy, and then the milk powder to also make it creamy. It makes a yummy, thick tomato soup instead of like a really runny one. And then I did some chopped onion. Oh, do you know what's special about powdered milk? It's on sale. It's been on sale for a while. I think they made a lot when we had a milk shortage. So I believe it is still 50% off. I stocked up on a lot of milk. You can tell by my blue can. We always talk about the colorful cans. If it's a colorful can, you know it's really old. So my powdered milk is from 2015. Did you know that we're drinking 9-year-old milk around here? Kind of awesome. And then, so you can do salt and pepper to taste. I kind of do it actually after when I'm just eating the soup, because I always guess around how much you should put in. And then I just do a cup of tomatoes. So the tomato dices are on the monthly specials. They're kind of an interesting product. I don't usually like cook with them on a regular basis because it's a little bit expensive versus just buying tomatoes or using your garden tomatoes, but I do love them as an option for an emergency. So this is what your jar looks like. This one's so fast and easy to put together. Super easy. You can line those up and make a bunch. 1 pint jar is kind of like 2 bowls of soup. It made like 2 regular bowl sizes of soup. If you wanted to double everything, then you could do a quart and that would be like a family meal. So I'm gonna blend it, but it's gonna make a loud noise. So I'm actually not gonna blend it just yet. I'm gonna show you the zuppa toscana. So this just cooked that time. It was probably like 10 minutes. Actually, my potatoes are nice and soft. It's pretty thick. It's going to thicken up a little bit more, especially as it sets for a second. And you can play with the water. I don't know why my screen has a swoop right there. Probably something dirty there. Fixed it. Woohoo. So that's my soup. It's done. I'm going to have some dinner for tomorrow. Yay. And then, so in terms of blending this soup, so I'm going to explain. My Blend Tech, and if you have a Vitamix, it would, I think, have the same thing, has a soup button. So if you click the soup button, I think it cooks for like 2 minutes or 3 minutes. It blends it and then like blends it long enough and high enough that it heats it. So it actually is like steaming, but I'm not gonna make you listen to my thing blending. So I'm gonna pour it in. So this is when it's dinner time and you're like, oh guys, let's eat dinner. Here. That's literally like 5-second dinner, right? Then it has to cook for 2 minutes in the blender. I think I can handle that on a busy night. So I'm gonna blend it. So you'll just hit the soup button. If you don't have a high power blender, you could blend it in a regular blender and then just heat it on the stovetop or whatever. So I'm gonna send back to Krista and then, ooh, instant rice to tomato soup. You could add like alphabet noodles too. I thought about trying to do that and make it like a kid's tomato soup, tomato alphabet soup. But so I'm not gonna make you listen to me blend. So I'm gonna send it back to Krista if she's ready. Are you ready, Krista?
I am.
So I'll show you it on my camera when it's blended, or maybe at the very, very end. Okay. I'm going to you and then I'm gonna blend. So I'm in the spotlight and muting, but you guys can watch. I'll hold it up tight if you want to see the magic.
Awesome. All right, cool. So my second sorry, let me start that over again. Sorry. Our second recipe is going to be a chicken tortilla soup. Okay. And so I wanted to show you a couple things that I do for this soup because it's a little bit more involved than just throw and go. Because basically that's just what we did with the minestrone, and it's just sitting on the stove getting all nice and macerated and all the good things. So that's what we're going to show you next. Okay, so I'm going to dip my thing down. First thing I wanted to show you was the first thing in this recipe that I do is marinate the chicken. So basically this is our diced chicken that is on sale this month. But I want to show you a close up. Like, can you see the grill marks in my chicken? That is when they say that this is real chicken, they literally take the breasts, they throw them on the grill, they all have grill marks, and then they cut them up and freeze dry them. So this is great, but one of the things that we're going to show you tonight is how to kind of get more flavor in here. Because obviously if you were to eat this by itself, you can, but it doesn't have any flavor. Who wants to eat chicken? Cooked chicken with no seasoning on it, right? It's not that great. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to take the chicken bouillon, which is, I don't know if you guys have these two in your kitchen, the beef and chicken bouillon, but they are vegetarian, but they are great for all types of seasonings. I make dips from these. I make flavorings. I throw it on my rice. I use these literally all the time. So we're going to take, and it's easy. Hold on. I'm getting too hot here. I need to hurry. I don't want to burn my butter. Hold on. Do that now. All right. So we're going to take 1 teaspoon. The measurements are easy. It's 1 teaspoon per cup. And this is actually a half a teaspoon. So we're going to do a half a teaspoon in this little jar. And we're going to add a half cup of water because I don't need very much water. But if I throw a flavored water in my chicken is going to soak up the flavored water. Does that make sense? that's how you season some things, right? And we're going to let this chicken sit because this is going to go on our soup at the very end. Okay. So I want it to be wet and I want it to be back to its normal chicken state. Okay. Does that make sense? So we're going to take this chicken bouillon now that I mixed it up. And so now I never have to buy cans or cartons of chicken stock ever, ever, ever. Because I can just make it from my bouillon at any time. Okay, we're gonna pour this in. And we're gonna stir this with our little half teaspoon. And we're gonna let this sit. That's our first. And you can see the grill marks on my chicken. It's so cool. But I want it to kind of get refreshed and I want it to be real chicken ready to go in my soup. Ooh, look at that one. That one has a lot of grill marks on it. Do you guys see that one? Can you see that one? Oh.
My tomato soup finished. It was 90 seconds in there and the blender is hot. So that's kind of cool.
Grill marks on that. It's amazing. I do have guests here, so I'm not gonna I'm not gonna put that one back in. Yeah, thanks, Jodi. I think I need a real spoon. So but that's the first thing we're going to do is just kind of let this chicken macerate and get all nice. I'm going to stir it a couple times while it's sitting, but it's soaking up all that chicken flavor. Okay. Let me put that aside. We're done with that. Next thing we're going to do prep wise is this one. This is another thing that we demo all the time on our little cooking demos. And you might remember, you may not. I'm not a huge fan of peppers, but I do like the taste of them. I like the flavor of them. I just don't like the slimy skins and all the things. So this soup calls for a 1/4 cup of red bell pepper. And this is actually what I did in the other soup because it has red bell pepper in it too. I'm just going to, and there's so many different ways you can do this. I'm doing it with a knife to get kind of some clean cuts. You can throw this in a Ziploc bag and bang it with a stapler. I don't care how you can put in your blender and powder it like Jodi did with all those fruits for those icings. That's a great way to do it. But I do want some pieces, and I know other people in my family and my studio guest audience, my live studio audience, that thank you. They are awake. But yeah, so I know that people in the house like bell peppers. So that's why I'm doing it this way. So I'm just kind of cutting and making sure that I don't have huge big pieces of bell pepper. Okay. It's really easy to do. And that's the beauty of Thrive is that it's so versatile. And it literally, I mean, I think I've done the stapler method before, but this is kind of easy and quick and it doesn't take very much. You could actually break it up if you need to in your kitchen. It doesn't matter, but that's what we're going to do with this. Okay. Now we're ready for that. I'm going to stick that in the onions. Because that's where all that powder is. People keep the powders too, like because there's usually powder in the bottom of a can. And so that is great for seasoning soups or other things that you've got going on in your kitchen. It's really awesome to have that flavoring. Okay, so I've got that. So now we're gonna go back over to the stove. Here we are, back to the stove. I think that's hilarious. Okay, there's my minestrone. It's looking good. It's pretty much done at this point. So I'm going to keep it down on low. Put a cover on it. Great. Got it covered up first. Okay, lid on it. And so in here, I've got this on low already, but I'm going to turn it back up to like 5. And I put about 4 tablespoons of butter. And I've got some avocado oil. I'm going to throw some of that in here too. So what we're doing here is this is going to go pretty fast once it gets heated up. So we're going to go kind of fast here, but I'm grabbing my ingredients here for this guy. Okay. We've got what we're going to put in there first. Okay. So I've got a little bit of butter and I've got a little bit of oil. Again, that's flavor, right? It's flavor. So we're trying to flavor and infuse flavor into our freeze-dried food, okay? And you can hear it kind of sizzling, right? So we're gonna throw in onions and garlic. This is just like you would a regular onion, right? If you were doing this the regular way, you'd be chopping an onion and sauteing it in oil or butter, right?
And
So,
you didn't hydrate it first, which is
nope.
important to note. She's
Yes.
doing it dry, which is fine. Still gets
Yep.
all the flavor of the oil and butter in.
I'm also going to dump in the corn and the green chilies. So everything is getting flavor. You can see how it's soaking up that butter and that oil. And if you see that it's getting really dry, add a little bit more. Be flexible. You can be flexible, but you can see that it's getting pretty dry. Like it's soaking up all of that stuff, right? Which is awesome. I kind of want it to, I want to do this until it starts caramelizing. Okay. Because that's where the flavor actually starts with food. Okay. So if you were to go to a cooking school, the first thing they're going to teach you is how to caramelize because that seals in a lot of those flavors and brings the flavors out of your vegetables. So that's what we're kind of doing. And you can kind of smell it. You don't have to look, I mean, it'll get a little brown. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit more. But I kind of wait to smell that caramelization. I don't know if you guys, I love that smell. They need a candle. Yankee Candle needs a candle. Caramelizing onions. Oh, it's so good. I love it. All right. So I can kind of see that my garlic in here is getting a little brown, right? So we are almost at the point. So now that this is soaked in that butter and that oil, that flavor is going to be sealed inside, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to deglaze. You guys know what deglazing is? We're going to add some water. And I've got 2 cups right here. Oh, actually, what we're going to do first is add more seasonings. Okay. This is our chicken bouillon for the soup, right? So we're going to add this. I love doing this part. We're going to add that. This is a little bit of sour cream powder that Jodi just used in her last recipe. We're going to mix those in too. Because again, we're just layering that flavor, right? We're just layering that flavor, and that's what's going to create. See how there's some burning going on there? That's your caramelization. That's exactly what you want. Now we're going to deglaze the pan. Anybody know what that sizzle is? It's the Thrive sizzle. See, now all those flavors kind of come together now, right? So now we're going to add the rest of our water and bring this to a boil. Oh, I did forget some more seasonings. There's some cumin and some chili powder in here and a little bit of salt. So you're going to add those so that can it's just another layer on top of our layers, right? All right, so now we're going to add the rest of our water and bring this to a boil. My live studio audience is very funny tonight. I know it's not traditional to do a soup in a saute pan, but I don't want to do more dishes than I have to. Is that bad? Okay.
Probably heats it up faster with a wider pan.
Probably, yeah, it probably does. Yeah. So that is we're gonna let this simmer for a couple minutes and then we're gonna come back and finish it off. But again, really easy, but there's a couple of parts in there that are really important to the whole process, right? So so yeah, I think I can turn it back to you, Jodi, if you're good.
I was done my recipes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, do you want to finish them up?
I can show my I'll just show my soup real quick. And you can see how thick it is. It's delicious tomato soup. It's good with crackers or grilled cheese. I always make grilled cheese and then my husband's like, do we have any tomato soup to go with it? So I'm going to show how I pour. So it's like thicker and more delicious than a can of soup. And it was probably just as fast, if not. Okay, from the jar, it was faster than opening a can. But if you had to pull out all the ingredients separately, it might not be quite as fast as a can of Campbell's soup. But
It's still going to taste better.
It tastes much better. That's the real key. So, um, since Krista's thing needs a second, I will just give kind of our final, um,
I did forget one ingredient, so I don't know if you can see this, but I've got some
I can
tortillas.
see it little. What is it? Oh, tortilla chips.
It's corn tortillas. So it's just,
Oh.
I just sliced up with some and they're going to go in here too. I forgot them. So
So they're the soft tortillas.
they're the soft tortillas.
Oh, that soup sounds good. Every time she talks about how good everything smells, I'm like, I want to smell her food. She needs smell of vision. That's what she always talks about. So,
Cinnamon chips.
um, so everything that we talk about, the monthly specials, they're available if you're on the monthly delivery program. So it is a auto ship, but it's not like you get the same thing every month and you don't have to order every month. So you just sign up for the deliveries and then you qualify for the specials. It also qualifies you for free shipping. So I hate paying for shipping because it's like you could get a whole like spice can or something for the cost of shipping. So you might as well. So if your order's over $100, it's free shipping. So the delivery service is usually the best way to shop, or else if you want to get like kickbacks on your own delivery orders, you can sign up as a consultant. So we're consultants. We love sharing and teaching people about Thrive and helping them get Thrive in their homes. But you can do that if you want to share it and kind of be an ambassador for awesome freeze-dried food storage. Or you can just use it for your own benefits. So you can get free food. I built most of my food storage from free and 50% off food. And so it's been a big blessing for my family to be able to do that. And I love that everything I order, I'm getting a percentage back that I just funnel towards my food. So it's kind of like couponing, like you're saving your 10% coupon and then you turn around and spend your 10% the next month. So if you are interested in learning more about either of those things, get with whoever invited you, whether it was me or Krista, and we can share more details about how that works. And then obviously, like, we help you learn how to cook with it. That's why we do these demos every month, because you don't want to have food and shelves full of food and not know how to cook with it. I know, like when I first started building my food storage, it was like I had like oatmeal and broccoli, and I'm like, what do you do in an emergency? You got random weird ingredients and wheat that you don't know how to cook with. So I love that you can just cook regular food, and we show you every month, like, this is regular food that my family eats. But if I had regular tomatoes from my garden, I could make tomato soup from my garden. But if I have an emergency, I can make tomato soup from my food storage. So it's really, really versatile. And so that's why we love teaching about it, so that you're not just buying it to store, but you're buying it to eat and use and love and save time and save money in your kitchen. And it's faster for me to make a jar meal than it is to try to haul my 7 children to McDonald's. And McDonald's, like, so expensive. I feel like fast food is $20 a person lately. And so I don't care if a can of ground beef is $70 or whatever it is anymore. It's like, that's one McDonald's meal. So, that is kind of my spiel and why I really believe in buying Thrive. And so love to share that with you guys. And thank you for being on live and joining our little demos. We love having repeat viewers, and we love having new people. So are you ready, Krista?
I am. The last
Okay,
part is I'm
I'm
going to
gonna
take
go
it.
back to you.
Okay. Oh, did I put myself on mute? Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, good.
You're good.
All right. Okay. So basically this is simmering, right? And I'm just going to take an immersion blender and just do a couple. I want it chunky, but I don't want it totally blended, right? So, and I probably need a bigger pan for this. That I didn't think about. I don't want it all blended. You can do this in a blender too. But I want some of it blended because I want it to be a little thicker. Now it's looking like chicken tortilla soup, right? Okay. I'm totally making a mess in my kitchen, but that's okay. Woo! Ouch, that was my toe.
It wouldn't be a good cooking demo without a huge mess in the kitchen after.
This is true. I think I'm stopping there. All right.
Every
So,
Wednesday morning, it's like, now I got a tornado to clean up.
right. And now I'm going to add in my chicken and let it simmer 2 more minutes and then it is done. Do you see why I did what I did? I wanted to make sure the chicken, because I knew the chicken was going to go in last, right? So I wanted to make sure that it's going to be ready to go in my chicken tortilla soup
And still chunky.
and still chunky and still chicken because I didn't want to blend my chicken. So
Yeah.
adding
Ooh,
it to
that's
that,
smart.
right? So that's why I did what I did. And there's usually a method to my madness. And the more you work with rye foods, the more you understand how this all works, right? And it's not hard. It's not hard, right? But I just had to think to myself, what's going to be best when I'm putting this recipe together? I want my chicken to be chicken in the tortilla soup. So if I'm going to blend it, I want to blend the vegetables because again, I don't like the peppers, right? but um but yeah, so that's and then you'll want to top this with like sour cream. I've got sour cream, avocados, cheese, whatever your the little tortilla strips, whatever your little heart desires, right? So you can top this with anything and everything. And I can plate it here in a second while we're finishing up too. So but yeah, that's the chicken tortilla soup. Should be yummy. I'm excited to try it.
Hopefully you guys liked all our soupy recipes. It was kind of a fun theme. I thought it was fun and they're so easy. Like you can even make a soup bar, like pull out vegetables, meats, throw it all on the counter and let everybody mix and match and make their own soup. I've done that before for dinner. I'm like, soup for dinner, yummy. And the kids can just make whatever they want. It's super fun. So lots of ideas. If you make your own, share with us and let us know what you're making, what soups you love, what are your favorites, and if you have any ideas of things for us to make on a future episode. Hopefully, maybe next month, something will be green on sale and we can make green food. We'll see.
Yay.
All right. Have a good evening. Thanks for being live. And if you're watching the replay, thanks for watching the replay. And we'll catch you next month, hopefully on the second Tuesday. Sorry we tricked everyone this month, but at least we still did it. So until next month, have a wonderful night.
Absolutely. Take care.
Bye.